Yeah, well, how's it going, guys? It's Richie, Unicorn Call here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back for a little bit of a weekend upload because there has been this patch notes. I guess not even patch notes, just they kind of announced it on their official Discord and stuff like that. You know how they always do. But we're gonna jump in and read the notes. This is mainly for the standard mode of whatchamacallit, Nightmare Dungeon. I already forgot the name of this dungeon already. It shows you how much of an attitude I have towards it. And we did a little roundtable or community discussion with all the content creators Friday. So most likely this was already in the works before they did the whatchamacallit, before they actually looked at the live stream, which hopefully they do look at that roundtable. Everybody's very passionate about this game. But anyway, let's jump right into it. Wizards, thank you for all the feedback on the Nightmare Dungeon Standard Mode. We are working on a patch that includes several important updates. Have a look for the highlights. So Dungeon Recall is now working properly. Apparently that wasn't working. They've implemented some zone tweaks for latency issues. Alright. Broken Dreams with longer paths have been removed. Decent. However, there's still going to be people that have trouble traversing the Broken Dreams overall, especially when we talked about those ping issues, like if you live in New Zealand or just somewhere else in the world and you do experience like high volumes of lag or delays, it's still gonna be a slight problem. Of course, though, if you're using like something like a speed hack, of course, the dungeon doesn't detect that. I've seen at least one person use a speed hack in there, but regardless, though, no cheating. Nobody do that. But, decent. That's good. Decent. We're off to a decent start. Pharaoh Ramakroc, which is the boss I always fight, no longer casts his healing overtime Croc Ank. This one, no. I feel like you should do more with the whole Croc Ank thing. We talked about Rochambeau's and all the spells that you have utilized and stuff like that. I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of that. Well, I'm glad you removed the healing overtime Croc Ank, but like, what about the other Croc Anks? What about the shield Croc Ink? What about the dot Croc Ink? What about the disarm or whatever you call it? I guess debuff Croc Ink. What about the charm Croc Ink? It's like, I don't know. No, I don't know how to feel about that one. I feel like it's still just going to be a chore. The hatred of dingoes, and this one is very important, and I wanted to talk about this special bulleted point. The hatred of dingoes, which is one of the mobs in the dungeon, no longer has challenge mode stats and cheats. So, apparently, this whole time when standard mode was released, apparently this mob had challenge mode stats and cheats. Which doesn't make sense because it's in the standard mode. So you kind of just openly admitted that, yeah, you just kind of copy and pasted challenge from standard, removed the timer, etc., etc. But you still got this one mob that had it this whole time. Is so bad. Like, it's just, I really want to help this game thrive, but at the same time, it's just hard to log in now because it's like, dude, this whole time you couldn't have just removed that. Like, really, y'all didn't have the time and day to do that. Anyway, hopefully that mob fight becomes a little bit better, and hopefully standard mode becomes a little bit less tedious. And then this is the awesome one over here. The Malus Rexus badge now takes 15 defeats rather than 25, which is also pretty decent. It's still a lot. I still just don't want to play the dungeon overall, right? There's not really an incentive to do the Nightmare Dungeon. And these are just a few of the issues that are getting resolved. Not everything is getting resolved. For example, the gear. The gear just isn't desirable, right? We talked about that 1% increase. Of course, if you're a PvP player, then yeah, you always want to try and get the best stats. But like, nobody's really going to take the time and energy to do this 15 times or even 10 times, you're missing kind of the point of the whole roundtable that we did, and so far it's a decent little startup patch. Still just gonna keep my ground and just not log in for a little bit, just because, you know, it's been a very stale state for me for Wizard101, and I know how much it aggravates people whenever I'm talking about like successful video games, but Helldivers 2 is right now amazing. I've been having so much fun with that, and I think the reason why is because I know that my time is being appreciated with that game, right? And even though they're always at like a full server capacity, like I think they capped it at like 450,000 players, which I'm fine with, right? I'll just wait later and just still play it, right? And that's what everybody else is doing in the community. Like, yeah, the server issues are annoying, but they're still waiting to like kind of get in Helldivers and, you know, still play, right? And then when it comes to Wizard101, it's a little bit different when servers go down or whatever happens. Remember that Avalon was broken for 1 week. I don't know, what was it? Crystal Caves? Apparently it had like a raid format or something like that. And, you know, that's basically 1 week of memberships right there. And there was no reports of like any confirmation or like a 1 week free membership or whatever. It was nothing, right? Right now we have free Wizard City and free Krakatopia, which I think everybody's kind of exhausted of. You know, we're kind of waiting for these two worlds, or at least the bare minimum of Wizard City being free. And kind of the fact how it's been 15 years and Wizard City is still not free, it's just kind of very silly, you know? Like I said, there are tons of issues that we've mentioned in that roundtable. Even though the roundtable is like long and it's jumbled up in places, definitely make sure you give it a listen. You know, just put it in your ear at work or something like that, because it was really great. We had a lot of good points there. But, you know, moving on from that, I kind of asked Nicole, my girlfriend, I said, babe, how come, like, no matter how hard I try to get you to play this game, how come, you never want to log in? You know, how come you just never want to log into Wizard101? And she said to me that it's boring and it's a waste of time. She doesn't want to waste time farming gear, right? Like, she actually has a life outside of Wizard101. She became busy to the point where she doesn't want to play Wizard101 anymore. There's no incentive to keep playing. That's the problem with Wizard101. There's not really a good incentive to continue playing. That, and also you have to pay for a membership or pay money to play the game, right? It's like, it's so frustrating. Obviously, whenever we're talking about like the paying stuff in Wizard101, that usually is a topic that's never going to be resolved, because of course it's a company and of course they gotta make money, just like all y'all say in the comments, be like, they were business, they need to make money. Like, yeah, I get it, yeah. Regarding that, it still is a waste of time. Her time isn't being appreciated. My time isn't being appreciated, right? She'll go back to her Nintendo Switch and play some games, Animal Crossing, but her favorite game to play is Fortnite, which is completely free. There's cosmetics and stuff like that. But whenever she's playing Fortnite, her time is actually being appreciated. You know, she's leveling up her battle pass. She's actually having fun with it and, you know, just having a good time with it. But whenever you play Wizard101 and maybe you do that dungeon for 50 times. Maybe you do it for 25 times, for 15 times, however they do the badge thing. The question you should ask yourself is your time being appreciated, and what is your end goal to all this? Because we already talked about the gear. It's not really much of a stat difference. So, like, do you really want to go out of your way to do all this? And do you really want to go through all these very annoying mechanics, such as raid mechanics or Rochambeaus and stuff like that? You know, are you willing to commit to that, is what I'm asking you. So, until then, I'm going to go play some more Helldivers. I'll let you guys keep pondering on with Wizard101. We'll be back to the news Monday. Just see what happens. Yeah, and until then, I will see you guys later. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff to talk about with Wizard101, but, you know, I could really just care less, honestly. So, until then, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day today, and peace out.